Hi, boys and girls. Thank you for working so hard on your maps today. I know we've given you some challenging map activities over the last few weeks, and thank you for accepting those challenges and trying your best. Ms. Richards and I can't wait to see what you've done on your maps today. We'll be collecting those and looking those over, so thank you for doing that. Moving on from that activity, you're now on to thinking about trade again. So with trade, we talked about earlier in the week how people had to move goods over long distances and they didn't have easy ways of doing that. The camel was kind of like the semi truck of the time, and it would transport goods. The camel could hold a lot of water, didn't need to bring a lot of water for a camel, had great hooves for being able to walk on both mountains and sand, hot sand. Think about like Michigan in August and how hot the sand gets, and we're talking about a desert, so clearly very hot. Then we talk about in the sandstorms as well. And then we know that they had extreme weather conditions. So in those weather conditions, they have high mountains where it'd be cold, and they have the lower areas where they'd be really hot. So difficult weather conditions, maybe storms will kick up, lack of rain, lack of drinking water, those kinds of things. And so these trade routes were really difficult, but yet they offered a lot of money. And you could earn a lot of money if you were one of the people on the legs of those routes. So remember, the trade routes were more like relay systems. So maybe I would go from here to Grand Rapids with my load, and then at Grand Rapids, I would hand off to the next person who would go from Grand Rapids to Detroit. In the meantime, I would grab a new load and go from Grand Rapids back to Muskegon. And that's kind of how the Silk Road worked for the most part. Not one person was traversing the whole route all the way there and all the way back. So you'd kind of become an expert in your area of that particular part of the trade route. Well, today we are going to consider some other things. I said earlier this week what might be some dangers of the trade route, what might be some goods and bads of the trade route. Well, making money we know is good. Learning from people is good. So we said not only do goods pass on the trade routes, but also other items like religious ideas and technologies and just kind of philosophies, clothing, a cultural diffusion. How does someone else live? How does someone else do it? Is there someone that's doing it better than me? As a matter of fact, we've talked a little bit at the very beginning of the year, just to touch on it, that Christopher Columbus got his compass idea from the Chinese. That would not have been possible without trade, and Christopher Columbus would not have made his trek across the ocean without that compass. So definitely important to have this trade route and this cultural diffusion of not just goods, but ideas and thoughts and religions and so forth. So today you're going to put yourself in the role of being a bandit. So you are going to be one of the bad guys. You're going to be someone looking to steal the goods that a good, hardworking person would be along the Silk Road trade route. So you're going to be the person who's looking to steal things. Now, if you're going to be a bandit, you have to be smart. Even criminals are supposed to be smart. Otherwise, you'll get caught, beat up, and probably just killed. They're not going to bring you to any kind of a jail or court during this time period. You are probably just going to get beat up so badly that you're in big trouble. Okay, so are left out in an area without any water or food and abandoned out there, and you won't be able to survive. So what do you need to do to be a smart bandit? Where would you want to be a smart bandit? So in Google Classroom, don't do it yet, but when you're done with this video, you're in your Google Classroom for social studies, you'll click classwork, and you're going to go down to chapter 4, and you're going to see bandit. And in the bandit activity, there are two different posts. This is the first one, and this is, well, what doesn't really matter, first, second, whatever. This is a map that shows you a bunch of different letters, and on those letters correspond to these info cards. Spot A is all the information that you find here. Place B is this information. Place C is this information. And it goes on and on and on all the way to spot S, to place S. And these, again, boys and girls, these D right here corresponds to spot D in this map. So if I want to make it bigger, I can see D is right here. Now, with the work you've done with the maps, you have an idea of the terrain and the climate in this area. So you're going to think to yourself, if I want to be a bandit, do I want to be in this location of spot D? What is it like up there? Who would be up there? Why would they be up there? What are some of the goods that would be coming up there? And what are the conditions up there? And also on that card for card D, you'll see that it gives you some information as well right here. It tells you about the place, it gives you the name, it describes it a bit, it gives you some of the ideas of what would be at the market there, and then the roads that you have to travel to get there. So this is one example, but you have all the way to place S, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. That's the last one. Oh my gosh. T, U, V. Excuse me, it goes all the way to V. I didn't even see that. So awesome, even more choices. So you will get to decide what are a couple of the spots that you think would be best to be a bandit. Where would you want to go to be a bandit? Where do you think will be the easiest spot to steal some goods, get away with it, not get caught, be able to transport your goods out, not freeze to death, not starve to death, not get beat up, not get pummeled by some other people, and then still take your goods and be able to go to a different spot and sell them to someone else? You have to decide and then give 3 reasons why. If you have more time, do more places. So as you have to do at least one place. So you have to pick at least one location, one letter that corresponds to the place. You'll see they all have names once you start reading. R is a name, and Q has a name, and so forth. You have to pick at least one spot, and if you have more time, you do more. Okay, so that's your assignment for today. You're going to be abandoned someplace along the Silk Road. You are going to determine which place you think is the best place to do that, and then tell us why at least one spot, and then pick multiples if you have more time. If you have any questions, let us know, give us an email, and we will be there to help you. Thank you, boys and girls. Have a great day. One more thing I just thought of. You should make sure to turn in your question and reflection for this week as soon as you are done with this assignment for today and you switch over to your next class. Go ahead and make sure that your question and reflection is submitted today, please. Thank you. See you on Monday.